and immediately boom! And I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ugh. Bright. This is me, now publicly proclaiming my love for Jesus Christ. My love for him is eternal, which is a long time. I believe that he died on the cross for my sins, and I want to share with you guys my testimony. It'll be a short story about my life and how I got to know Jesus, and then of course the spectacular moment of when I gave my life to him. Disclaimer, warning, whatever. I'm not here to attack anybody else's beliefs or even try and convert anybody. I'm just here to share my own experiences with Jesus, along with taking another step in my relationship with him. Since I've dedicated my life to him, slowly but surely he has kind of shown me how terrible of a human I am, and that's pretty rad. Since then, through this whole process, I have been slowly changing my ways because I want to be more like him. If I can live righteously, then that's a W. Newest thing that he has shown me that I need to work on or let him have control of, I need to give it to him, right? Through faith, just trusting him with it, is my YouTube, is my channel. The thing that you're watching right now. Congratulations, you found it. Feel free to do a little boogie in celebration that you're here. So this channel, the one that you're watching, it's been a huge blessing to me, and I take no credit for it whatsoever. Like I believe it to be completely a God thing. To give you an example of why I think this, as soon as I started making videos, it blew up real quick. Like I got more views back then than I do now. And this is what the videos were like.
All right, hello. Here to do another video on Worldbox.
It just simply does not make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. So basically I came to the realization that I've been extremely unfaithful about my YouTube. Even though it's been a huge blessing to me, I've really taken it for granted, as well as just tried to take control of it on my own. So even though I believe God gave it to me, I was really trying to take the steering wheel, and I've been driving it straight into the dirt. It's like me in the passenger seat, like grabbing at the wheel. Ah! Basically, this whole video is my way of giving it back to him. But another big part of me being unfaithful with it is I have been afraid of even sharing my faith. I've even hid it in certain circumstances from my viewers because of the fact that I was afraid of losing those viewers. I was afraid of those people not sticking around because I proclaim Jesus, which now feels very foolish that I would ever feel that way. Like, why would I care? So this is basically a big way of me being like, yeah, kick, frick that. I don't care anymore. Jesus. So I'm proclaiming my love for him right here, right now, in front of all of you. And this is my way of giving him my channel with no give backies, I guess. As well as I'm gonna share my testimony with you guys because I think it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I think it is to me. So yeah. All right, to begin here. Ooh. All right, flashback time. Woo. You know, like the wave effect. So I was raised in a Christian household, kind of. It was a regular traditional home. Mom, dad, I had 4 siblings, 2 dogs, boom, house, American dream, maybe. So I lived in this house with my fam bam, and we all proclaimed love for Jesus. Except almost all of it was fake. Almost all of it, and I'll get to that later. And there's a big reason why it was fake. You see, my dad, my padre, he was a manipulative narcissist. Womp womp. So my father, who was supposed to be leading us in faith, was instead shutting us all off to it through his hypocrisy. As kids, you kind of subconsciously look up to your parents, and of course if your parents are trying to represent Jesus, or even claiming to represent Jesus, and then they are hypocritical, narcissistic, you know, it's kind of, as a kid, you even go, this is not good. I don't like. So through that example, my dad kind of living this double life, and we were all expected to live along with it to uphold his image. It really built a massive disdain towards Jesus along with the church to me and all my siblings. But this is where that almost came in. But my mother, she was super dope. Fully committed all the way, super strong in faith. Definitely led more by example with her Just absolute selfless love. So my mom, she really did influence all of us in that way, where if she stuck by it and she said this was truth, it definitely contradicted my dad's truth, which was his truth. There's only one truth. I'm going off on a tangent. Where was I? So here, yeah, I wrote it down here good. Because of her, I never gave up on God completely, because she claims to live for Jesus and actually walks that talk, unlike my dad. Yeah, perfect. And as a kid, you see that because you're not dumb. Kids are not dumb, they're smart. They see things and then they may not know what they're seeing, but subconsciously they're going, oh, ooh, I either like or don't like that. So through my school years, I would definitely have considered myself a lukewarm Christian, which if you're not familiar with the term, it's basically somebody who proclaims their love for Jesus, but doesn't actually live by it. So basically I was being a dumb little hypocritical kid. Through those years, I was kind of standoffish to Christ in the sense of my own relationship with him was more so like he was over there and I was standing here looking at him, but with dirtied up glasses. And I'm like, ugh, there's dirt on that guy. I don't want nothing to do with him. He's dirty. Ugh, I'm clean. My parents were divorced when I was 12, so dad was out of the picture. So around this time, middle school, high school time, I was really looking up to my older brothers. My older brothers are 9 and 8 years older than me, and they were going through a period of trying to tear down the walls that our Father has built up around their hearts and their minds, and they basically just turned themselves on to everything in the world, basically accepting every single new idea they can find, or rather questioning every single thing that they could find. They adopted all sorts of different philosophies, ideologies. They tampered with religions, at least. What did I write down? Drugs. Basically, their goal was to find the truth, because there's only one truth. The entire time they were doing that, they would sit me down along with my twin brother. We're the same. I'm older by a minute. They would sit down, both of us, they would spew all their wisdom at us and be like, so this is what's up, this is what you were lied to, or this is why you do think this, because this was what dad said, and then here's why you guys should think this way now. However, we might be wrong because of this, that, and this. When they were talking to me, they were talking to me through their own experiences, unlike my father. He was much more do what I say, not as I do. Or my brothers were living by it, trying to figure it out and saying, this is what has worked for me, this is what hasn't, this is what doesn't feel right to me, this is what does. They were speaking of experience along with still living by it. Through years of that, they really fostered a mentality of questioning everything. So through them cultivating my mind in that way, I really just got obsessed with conspiracies or different philosophies. Pretty much I got obsessed with some big questions where it's like, where did we come from? What even are we? Why are we here? It always goes back to why. You know, if anybody ever does something, like, why did they do that? Because that's probably the most interesting part, at least in my opinion, it would be. Even if you're like questioning the Bible, which we started to do a lot, you know, like, why would God even need us? If he's some big omniscient, I don't know if I said that word right. You know, you could just ask why about everything. Just try it. It's really good. Why? Why? I feel like I could have written something better down for that. Yeah, what is truth? That's a really good question. I wrote that one down. Basically, we started to question things that we weren't allowed to question when we were kids, which really helped a lot, especially when trying to figure out what truth is. Because if you're not allowed to question something, then you could never truly understand it. If you're not allowed to question it, then how would you ever know if it's truth or not? If you can never question it, then how would you ever know if it's not truth? I guess that may be a better way of saying it. Yeah, so all these things made the perfect brain soup. That's what I wrote down. For a conspiracy mindset, somebody who likes conspiracy theories, basically because it questions everything that I've been taught, everything. Like, let's say somebody in power lied. So either it's my father or it's the government, your boss, I don't know. If they lied, why would they lie? Why would they? Why? And that question has really riddled my brain for the past forever now. It doesn't have to be bad things either. Why did they do the great thing? Why would Jesus go and die for our sins? Why? Why does God even care? And so over the years now of asking these questions and trying to seek what is truth along with my brothers, I began to lean more and more towards Jesus. As I would question the Bible or question anything in this world, it always seemed to end up going to the same place. It would either end up in the Bible or it would end up leading to some sort of greater evil or something that at least convinced me of Jesus, pretty much in the end here. So the greater evil being Satan, I suppose. And why is it always described as the Bible describes the evil? Satan. I know all this is pretty vague. I'm not going to go into every single conspiracy theory that I've ever read about and been like, what? That's crazy. This is just what happened to me. This is through years of this now. Last August, so this is where it gets crazy because this is where I give my life to him. I was 300 miles away visiting some family, and all of the family there, they are super strong in their faith. I respect all of them so much. I love them all so much. And so when they say something, it's like there's like some weight to it where I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. So I kind of went there prepared with questions in my mind. Some of the biggest questions that kind of the accumulation of all those years kind of led up to. And they answered pretty much all of them. And I was so dumbfounded about the way I was thinking and or the obviousness of it after they answered it. They kind of really just showed more of who Jesus actually is rather than who I thought he was. After that trip, I wake up early in the morning and I start driving home, the 300-mile drive home. And I begin to think to myself, connecting all these things. And in that moment on the drive home, I decide that he is real. And I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa. What? So I decided that I was gonna go down and do a little symbolic thing at a park nearby and like do like a little repentance, jump into the water thing. So when I got home, I showed up, walked in my door, said, hi mom, went to my room, grabbed my longboard in my left hand, walked out to the front door, and immediately, boom, thunder down the yonder. And I'm going, oh no, because I intend to swim and I would prefer it without getting electrocuted. So I proceeded to longboard down anyway, because it wasn't raining where I was, but of course it was raining at the park. And since I'm at the park, I'm not gonna turn around and go home. I get down to the river, I put my stuff underneath the bench to get it out of the rain, and then I just got into the water. I just stood in it, I felt the cold of the water on my legs, and I just stand there and I look up into the sky and I repent. And I just tell God basically that I want to live for him. That I just basically dedicated my life to him. I thanked him for pretty much everything. Stood there for a little while, and I just then I dived in. You know, like why would I do that? Because it has meaning to baptism, right? It's kind of you're washing away your past self and coming into a new life. That's kind of the whole idea, a new life of Christ, a pure life kind of thing. Trying to live righteously along with God. My head comes back up out of the water, and I just kind of chill there for a bit, swimming, just kind of enjoying myself, going, oh, wow, this is cool. Look at that. I did a thing now, and I guess this is cool. Hi, Jesus. Wow. And then all of a sudden, the rain stopped. It just kind of like slowly drifted on upstream, upriver. And I'm going, what? What? Because I'm looking at storm clouds further up the river, and they started to glow a bright pink. And so I'm like, what? Trying to look the other way, and there's a beautiful sunset. There's a beautiful sunset that way, beautiful storm clouds this way. This whole time I'm sitting here like, whoa, what? That's kind of crazy. Kind of like did my whole new life thing, and then it's like, wow, beauty now. You know, was stormy, now super awesome. Kind of crazy. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. You know, in my mind, I was kind of battling that. And so I'm sitting there looking both ways, kind of facing where the embankment is. So I turn around and there's a double rainbow. There's a double rainbow on the other side of the river. And I just immediately, I was just lost of words. My jaw just kind of dropped. I'm going, holy balls. All of a sudden in my mind, it was like, this is no longer a coincidence. I can't justify this further. It's literally, I was 300 miles away that morning. I woke up at a certain time. I wasn't rushing out the door. Drove over 300 miles, and I showed up, and my mom didn't have anything to do for me. You know, it was all like, in order to get there with the rain parting and everything happening all at that time, I could not have been a minute later. And so in my mind, I'm swimming there and I'm just gasping for air and going, holy balls, this is insane. This is insane. This is crazy. And it gets crazier. So I sit there for what felt like a few hours, but it was only like 5 minutes until I was like, time to go home. And so I grab my longboard from out of under the bench and I begin to ride home. And so basically how this works is from the park, there's a road that kind of curves around, and then on that straight road now after it curves, basically goes directly to my house, just way down the road. And so as soon as I take that turn out of the park onto that road that leads directly to my house, straight down, there is a third rainbow. There's a third rainbow straight over my house. And so I'm riding home. I got a beautiful sunset to my left, bright pink storm clouds to my right, a double rainbow behind me, and a third rainbow above my house that I'm riding towards. At this point, I don't know what I was thinking. I've never seen three rainbows before. In my mind, that is nothing short of divine. The timing of it all. I get home and I don't tell my mom yet, but I immediately feel like I need to call my cousin for some reason. So I ended up calling my cousin Lucas and I told him exactly what just happened, trying not to tear up the whole time. Basically said 3 rainbows? That's crazy, because in the Bible, 3 has a significance, or rather a meaning. So I looked it up on Google and it said that 3 means completeness or new life, which is kind of crazy. So now at this point, I'm like hanging up on him, like, frick, dude. I'm sitting there trying to hold back water, some sweat from my retinas. And that whole thing really did just tie it all together. I went there and gave up my old life, emerged anew. 3 rainbows symbolizes completeness, new life. New life is really the crazy one. Completeness now having Jesus, which is just like, boom, 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 boom. So since then, God has really just blessed me. I've been working towards becoming more and more righteous and just trying to live for him without hypocrisy. So yeah, making this video was one of the steps to becoming more his. Basically, it was just a step in advancing my relationship with him, because not doing this was definitely a block. Big block in the way. Big smelly piece of the path, you know, whatever that means. So yeah, God bless you all, and see you in the next video. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Wow. That's pretty cool.